happy now moment, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with you as always. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and an open heart to your listening experience, and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality. While listening, you will be exposed to inspiring, empowering, and unifying perspectives that I'm highly confident will yield stellar results in your life if you opt to try them on for size. Also, if you're a longtime P-Head listener, you know I have been diligently working on producing episodes for my new late-night style, consciousness-elevating video talk show, Optimistic. Well, after a year plus in the making, I am thrilled to announce that we will be releasing Season 1's episodes weekly beginning March 15th, and I'm asking for your help to spread the love and to let your friends and family know about Optimistic when it's released. In exchange for taking a minute to share our Episode 1 teaser video on March 15th, or whenever you're hearing this, up through the end of April, we're giving you monthly memberships to not one, but two consciousness-expansive online content portals from two of my very favorite teachers and healers that are valued at over $50 a month, as well as entering your name into a drawing to win a free week at the Mystic Manor for a retreat immersion valued at $2,950, where the winner will be chosen in April. Otherwise, if you're interested in hearing more details about the rewards you'll receive for supporting, we'll send you a video that goes into detail when you text the word Mystic to the number 22999. You can also go to optimistic.tv to see several other videos, including the Optimistic show trailer and two videos that discuss the week-long retreat immersion, as well as details of what the Mystic Manor immersion entails and how you can book a week to come stay with us even if you don't win the raffle. All right, all you positive heads, here we grow again. So grateful to be back with you guys as always. And I bet you've guessed it by now. I'm not alone. Although it's not an overly crowded situation around the microphone this morning.
It's intimate.
It's intimate. We have two of our three guests this week are here. The third is MIA with Mia. That's good. So our past guest, Mia, who now is here permanent at the Mystic Manor, I think she originally came in October, and she helps us with all the video-related stuff and editing and all the things that we're doing here at the Mystic Manor. Her mother actually came this week as a guest. So literally, awesome. Paisley, who is our third guest, is MIA with Mia. It's Mia's 21st birthday, and they went out to celebrate at Six Flags and yada, yada, yada. So we're missing Paisley, but I have two of the three. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
My name is Jen.
And my name is Mari. I'm Jen's husband.
Jen and Mari. What's great about Jen and Mari, Jen has listened to
every single podcast.
Mari has listened to listen to every single podcast. Almost one. On the way here.
But I do listen to podcasts.
Isn't that great? Oh, well, now I'm extra offended.
Right?
Yeah. So I always say to people,
I've never listened to a podcast in my life.
Yeah. It's so funny because people will be like really sheepish sometimes with me when they're like, well, I haven't actually listened to your... And I'm like, what? How dare you not listen to all 1,200 episodes? Get out of my sight. Well, there's, so normally, we've had up to 6 of us, in here on these, so it just varies from week to week, and 3 was already a smaller size, and then with one, going off for other celebrations today. So, no pressure, guys, but...
We are exactly where we need to be.
Yes.
Like we were saying a second ago.
Exactly.
You're just doing a couples interview.
Yeah, right. Exactly. On Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
My parents' 50th wedding anniversary today,
Wow.
guys. Wow. Yeah.
Congratulations,
They
Brandon's
need to be
parents.
on here.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for doing what you've done and sticking it out and all the things.
We're going to party for you all today.
Yes, we are going to party on your behalf. So why don't you guys start by sharing a little bit? Who's the brave one of you two that'd like to share a little bit about what your week's been like so far? And
I'll start off. The week's been... Well, I came in here with not knowing what to expect. All I know is my intentions for the week was, I wanted to work on my own spirituality for sure. I've always been a curious soul. And so I'm sure I was expecting an enlightening week. I just didn't know what to expect. And I was open to whatever information I was going to get from this week. And secondly, of course, me and my wife being here, I wanted to improve certain aspects of our relationship. And this is something that is going to be ongoing for the rest of our lives. We're always going to learn about each other. But a crash course like this in a week where we're surrounded by great people, great energy, it was going to be constructive. So I was really looking forward to it. And it has been super constructive for sure. But I'm sure we'll get into that more later.
Yeah.
So that was my intent for the week. Not many expectations, just an open mind, basically.
I think that's the best way to step into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, he never knows what I'm going to drag him.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you, on the other hand, I got to imagine, had a lot of it. I mean, you've listened to every episode, so.
Yeah, well, I'll start first how I even heard about you.
Anything you want to share?
So, I had never listened to a podcast before, different than him. And we were going on a long trip, 12-hour, 14-hour plane ride. And I was trying to figure out how I'm going to occupy my time that long. And he said, you should download a podcast. I didn't know how. I don't know why I didn't know how, but I didn't. So he showed me, and I put in what most people do, positive. And yours is the first one came up. So I'm like, okay, download everything. And,
ooh,
right? So I had so much, and I just started listening, and I started hearing things that I always were interested about, but had no one to talk to.
Yeah.
Because, even though I live in LA, we live pretty close to here, actually. It doesn't mean you're always surrounded by the right kind of people.
Everything is happening in LA that you can think of.
Everything, yeah. And I started listening to when talking about aliens, talking about, anything you can imagine. And
we've talked about it.
Right? Everything. And some things I was like, first my wall went up. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that. But I wouldn't shut it off. Right? And I'm good. I have to say this. When I was first listening to you.
Uh-oh. I'm nervous.
Here we go.
I'm getting nervous.
Now the truth is coming out.
Well, when I searched for something positive to hear, I would listen to someone like Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins?
Yeah. And they just get to the point. Here's what you're going to learn. Boom. Deal with it. And so when I first started listening, I'm like, I hear you laugh and I hear you talking. And I'm like, but what are you going to teach me today?
Yeah.
And I just kept listening. And I'm kind of OCD. So I had to start with podcast number 1. It was October 2016, so you already had a bunch.
Right.
I had to start with number 1. And I wouldn't let myself skip any. So
I love that.
So I learned your whole process. And then every day as I drove to work, I didn't turn on music. I turned on your podcast instead. So then I get here now, and I know so much about you, and I forget that you don't know anything about me. I meet Mia.
I know about you now.
Right? I meet everybody. Oh, yeah, I remember this is, I know this about you. I know this. And they're like, looking at me weird.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, but I forget. So now you're just like a friend. So now I listen to you every day, and I just talk back to you. And,
Yeah.
She does talk back.
I do talk back.
She talks back to the TV. She talks back to the radio. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's one of the most rewarding parts of this experience. Here at the Mystic Manor, we've been doing these retreats since July. For those of you who don't know, we've been doing them since July, and it's been so rewarding to be able to connect with people who've had a one-sided relationship up to now.
Yeah.
And if anyone's tuned in and vibrating with the frequency that I'm putting out to the world through the podcast, it's because we're really close matches. So otherwise, you would choose one of the other infinite myriad of vibrational offerings that the world has in podcast form and otherwise. And so I always know the people that show up here are like close soul family. And so for me, it's this it's this wonderful experience of, you're someone who gets me, and so I know I'm going to get you, and we've got gifts for each other. Right. It's always about, growth in general is, or relationship or any of it. People so much think, oh, my relationship is about being happy. Eckhart Tolle, I think it was, that said it's not even. Once you can realize it's not necessarily about just being happy and blissed out, it's about your growth. Yeah. And anyone that comes into your field you're drawn to because there's an opportunity for growth both ways.
Right.
So when you can approach all relationship that way, it's a beautiful thing, and you really, I think, are getting to the core of why anything's happening. Yeah. And so for me, it's just great. I know I've instigated some level of growth that people have chosen. They're doing the growing themselves, and I've sort of spurred it along. And then it's like, oh, now I get a chance to get reflected back to by you and get to know you, and it's always like, oh, like Jen, yeah, you feel like an old friend. It doesn't feel at all like I just met you, And
I will say, this entire week, one of the positives that I did get is you're talking about the connections that we're making with people. Paisley's not here right now.
Shout out Paisley, our third.
Man, we couldn't have been more blessed to have her as part of our group this week.
So sweet.
It was like synergistically, everybody she was great. Her energy was great. Right away, we picked up on that. And everybody else in the house, it was awesome. We connected with everybody right away. It fostered an environment of me, somebody who's typically closed off. I was able to open up slowly but surely during the week. And you guys really made it very comfortable for me to do that. Talking personally. So.
Jen kind of told me, yeah, you're normally a little more closed off. And I'm like, what? He's so outgoing. He's so friendly and personal and outgoing. And I'm like, no, he's not. So.
Yeah, he's normally more shy. He kind of sits back, and I'm
an observer.
Yeah, right. And I'm very overly outgoing, sometimes too much, and he just sits and watches. So it's been different watching him kind of equally be interactive with people. I am not used to that.
Well, I think it's because we started out the week with that ninja Sam.
Oh my God.
She's Slaya Sam, as we call her.
I told her this. I'm like, Sam, you are a ninja.
Yeah.
You took a Ginzu knife and just chopped us up and let us just... Everything was opening up after she chopped us up.
Yeah. So she's talking about the workshop.
Not physically. Emotionally.
You don't have to be afraid.
Saw. Not Saw the movie.
We haven't moved into that stage of the retreat yet where we actually chop people up.
That's only on Halloween.
Yeah. Only if you come Halloween, be prepared. Sam is she's an emotional ninja. She really is. She's such a powerful force, and it's why I was so ecstatic to get her here in general, because, I know what gift she has to offer. And, that's really the intention of what this place is people are coming here with an open heart and mind. Even someone doesn't listen, you still came with I'm coming open-hearted, right? And almost everyone has done that. I can think of one occasion maybe where that didn't happen, and when someone was brought here. And even then there was great things that ended up coming out of it. But, when you go into it with that intention, and the intention of this place is to create a cauldron of transformation. And not only is it a cauldron of transformation for you guys, it's a cauldron of transformation for us that are here.
Of course.
I mean, even this week, there's been all these challenges. You've seen me deal with a few challenges or felt them, or, so it's like no one's off the hook of I'm just the teacher and I am not.
It's a real environment. Yeah. It's a real environment. I think that's what happens. In college, I lived in a fraternity house, so it's mostly male. Mm-hmm. This is different because this is not mostly female. It's basically half and half, but there's more of a feminine energy in here because everybody's open, everybody's emotional.
Yep.
So it's interesting to walk into this dynamic. You can't be fake.
Yeah.
Everybody in here is intuitive enough to know that if you're faking it, it's dude, get over yourself.
Right. Right.
So everybody in here is real. So it's refreshing to see that. It's different. But we see everybody in their ups and downs, and everybody's really open about it. But everybody is discovering something for themselves, right? Everybody's learning from each other. It's, like I said, it's a unique week for myself. So I'm not used to it, but it's great.
Yeah. Oh, well, you've been such a good sport. So
thank you. I tried.
I kind of dragged him here. I'm lucky enough in the fact that I married somebody who never tells me no, and I'm.
Happy wife, happy life.
Oh yeah, smart man.
I'm very much an adventurer. I love to do things, and when we met, he was kind of in this little bubble, and I am a free spirit, and I like to do everything, and so I kind of been dragging him along on what I'm doing, and I got to a point to where I would say, I feel like my soul elevation is getting higher than yours, and I don't like it. I want us to come back to figuring out a way to be more equal, so that I can get from you and you can get from me, and it's not one-sided. And so when Brandon first mentioned that he was thinking of doing this retreat, there wasn't any specifics about it, but he said, if you're thinking about it or you want some information, just email me. And I emailed you. That's before everything was all set up.
Yeah.
And we had actually just been on vacation. We went to Hawaii. The day I came back, you called and you said you were number 111. And
there's 111 that had responded. Yeah,
right,
you were in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was in that group of 111, right. And
there's 111 spots at the Mystic Manor synchronistically over the course of the year.
Right.
So I was like doing backflips when that happened, and that's why I ended up deciding to do the calls. And which, by the way, if you guys I'll throw it out now just because it's appropriate. If you want to explore coming here, you can do that as well. You can set up one of the calls, and you just go to calendly.com/talk with Brandon. And we actually, for March and April, we're doing just over 50% off, because turns out everyone wants to come in the spring and summer, and we have spots in March and April, and the experience is the same. So yeah, especially if money is an issue, that would be the time. So I wanted to say that out.
Highly recommend it. Do it.
Yeah.
But back to you, Jen. What was I saying? Did I completely throw you?
Well, I have a mind that spins a lot, so focusing on one thing is hard.
Yeah. Well, you basically were just saying that the 111.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
So, honestly, when I first started talking to you, my thought was, okay, this is going to be a weekend thing. No big deal, not a big commitment. I can handle a weekend.
Yep.
I can get my husband to come. And then you said it's a week. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
How did I digest that? I don't know if I can do a week. All these thoughts went in my head. And then the cost came up reflecting a week rather than a weekend. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, my head is going, you can't do this. You can't do this. But I heard myself saying, okay, and
you heard yourself say, I can do this.
I'm like, I'm doing it.
As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't.
Yeah.
You're right.
It was me being willing to, no matter what. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can relate with the money thing. And I just increased my credit cards, and they gave me way more than I needed. So,
well, if you want to give me extra, you just let me know.
Well, I was just
accepting donations. Wow.
And then I was on a payment plan. And I did this back in April, and I made it for February. I knew I wanted it all the way here in February, because first it being Valentine's Day, and second it being my birthday.
Your birthday tomorrow, right?
Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yay,
we're having a big party.
So I knew if I made it my husband would not wouldn't try
Smart
to say
strategy.
no. Yeah, he wouldn't try to say no, because first is Valentine's Day and my birthday. So what are you going to do? Disappoint me?
Yep.
So, and I all these months I kept saying, listen to his podcast so you know. And he never did. Mm-hmm. And so all this was a surprise on the drive going here, because every day going to work, every time I'm in my car, I don't turn on the music. I turn on the podcast, because I like knowledge, and I like the words, and I like filling my brain with positive things before I go out into the world. Mm-hmm. And so on the drive here, I was finally listening to the last one. And so he got to hear a little bit of that.
I wonder what that one was. I don't even know which one that was. It was probably last Friday. Was it last Friday? It would have been last Friday with the guest, probably, right?
Yeah, there was a guest. It was the lady who she had a near-death experience.
No,
the last Soul Share interview.
Yeah, Soul Share.
Oh,
it was the last Soul Share one.
Kimberly.
Yeah, that was her.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So my goal was to come here with him and try to, mistakenly, I came wanting to fix him, and instead, through the workshops we were put into on Tuesday and Wednesday, they were so intense, and I learned instead that I needed to not care about what he does and fix myself. And if I fix myself, then I can see him differently or not see him at all. But that's my choice. I needed to stop trying to fix anybody else.
That
was a big thing.
Huge lesson for us all, because we get fixated on here's what's wrong with you, here's what here's what you should be doing, here's what, and it's like people. It's taken me a long time, but I've gotten to the point where, especially in romantic situations or relationship, and I'm exploring that with someone or whatever, it's like, especially early on when you're like, is this going to go somewhere or not? It's like, I take it, it's just all feedback.
Yeah.
So it's not good or bad. It's just telling you what you need to know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so instead of, whenever you're reacting to someone else's behavior, it's like, it's really, it's sort of insane. Yeah. And it's insane because it's like, if everything is just feedback and it's not something that you need to, whenever we project how someone's supposed to show up in the world, we're just completely off. It's like, if they're showing up in a way that doesn't match what you're looking for, then it's just not a fit.
Yeah.
Or you can talk about it rationally and say, hey, here's really what I'm seeking in my own life. And, and as opposed to you should, it's like shooting people to death, shooting on people, as my friend Chris calls it. Quit shooting on me, and I think of like my mom doing that to my, 50 years of shooting on my dad, and it's like, there's a better way. and finding either you share very openly with an open heart what it is you're wanting out of a relationship or experience, and if that lines up with the other person and you can find a way to get there together, because you want to, cool. If not, the universe has infinite options it can bring you. There's no lack of what can be served up on a silver platter to any of us. And that's I think that's one of the biggest differences between someone having a normal or mediocre life and not. I mean, for me personally, I think all the magic in my life has come from me believing that the universe is so abundant and I'm worthy of even better or even more. Right. Or it's never like, I've never told the story of like, oh, now I'm too old, I better settle, or there's not enough, or I can't go for something that big, or, it's just always been like, of course, I'm okay. Oh, that didn't work. Well, there's something even better. Or I wanted to connect with this person and we started dating and it didn't pan out. Oh, wow. Well, that was a close reflection. I really appreciated that reflection. So, whoa, there's something even better for me. That's why it fell off. Cool. And when you approach your life in that way, you really start moving in. I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we were talking about this last night when we were downstairs by the fire down there. And, really, like, the only thing you could control in this world is, like, how you react to the choices you make. Right?
Or how you proact.
Exactly, proact, exactly. So, we were discussing last night how, you have love and fear, right? Those are the two extreme emotions. And I think, we got a little deep last night, but when we were talking about the choices that you make, I think it's very important that you choose to act in a loving fashion rather than fear.
Yep.
Because at the end of it all, like, the only thing we know is, like, we're here, like, I'm here, and I can control my choices, but I can't control anything else that happens all around me.
Yep.
I could just control my actions and how I react.
Yep.
So I think it's very binary when you think about it that way, but we get bombarded by hundreds of choices per day. And I think if we just strayed towards love when we make these choices, sounds cliche, but the world would be a better place and your life would be much better.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
How have you not listened to the Positive Head podcast already?
Right.
I probably, here's the thing is, like, we're like-minded people. That's why I'm here.
You already had it. You didn't need to. That's the answer.
No, I want to. It's not a matter of need, but
I was attracted to him because from the very beginning he had the elevated thought. It was just a matter of
practice
learning.
Wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't. He had all the book smart and all the mind of what it takes to be, this elevated person. And I was so attracted to that because I'm like, finally somebody I can be myself with and won't think I'm crazy if I say I'm, seeing spirits or something. And as time went on, I realized it was more of something he was learning and not something he was practicing.
Well, we're all that.
Now.
I've said it on the show since the beginning. You've heard me say it how many dozens of times? We teach best what we most need to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
I think we're meant for each other for that reason.
We're all students first, I think. So.
And I get distracted very easily with life going on, But when I first came in, I looked at the books that you guys had downstairs, and I'm like, a lot of these books, like, I've read and researched, so I knew right away. I'm like, I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Even though I've never listened to the podcast, I'm like, I think just like these people.
Beautiful.
I know. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, is there anything about either your experience here that you want to share, or just in general, that's something that's been bubbling up in your own life, or any breakthroughs or aha, sort of things that, why you have the microphone you'd like to share?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I just want, first of all, when you walk in here, don't expect what you think you should expect, because I came in here expecting, I don't know, something else. And when you walk in, it's actually more like just walking into a friend's house. It's not, I'm always somebody who has to structure everything, plan every minute of the day. If we're going on vacation, everything is planned. So when I walked in here and everyone just kind of said hi, no structure, kind of walk around and look at things, and I was like, oh, I can just relax and not have to do anything. And there's a lot of relaxation time and just meeting with people along with workshops and things. So whatever you're expecting, don't. Just come.
Yeah, we tried. Our aim was to make it a mix of plenty of fluid, free flow kind of space, and okay, here's this day at this time we're going to podcast. This day at this time we're going to do this. So there's some things that are kind of planned, and even those they'll be loose on the time a little.
Yeah.
And then, because I know for me, if I go on a vacation or retreat, like chilling, is nice. Like sitting in the hot tub is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have to do anything, because most of our lives are like, our day-to-day lives are like, okay, got to do this, got to go to work, got to go this, got to pick the kids up, got to, and
right.
So we, of course, need some of that for all of the offerings we want to make sure that people experience, but we tried to build around that.
Yeah, I thought when I first looked at the schedule, I said Tuesday and Wednesday are workshops. Is that enough? Of 7 days, is that enough? But man, by the first day, the end, I was so emotionally just drained, because we got to the heart of so many deep things that 2 days was more than enough. On the next day, Thursday, I just needed to do nothing.
Right, you guys, and then today we're doing this, and then we're going to spend the afternoon together.
And now we get to party.
And then there's there's a magic dinner party here tonight.
Yay.
Yeah.
Like magic show, dinner party, sensual eating for Valentine's Day. Then there's the World of Love party here tomorrow. If any of you guys hear that last minute, by the way, if you go on to... actually, the show notes will have a link to get World of Love, which is February 15th. So if you hear this right away when it comes out and you're in the LA area and you want to come, then you can go. And if you use PHEAD, the code PHEAD, you get $10 off. And so we'll put the link in there for you. But
sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a really great crew. Yeah,
exciting.
Something new.
Something new. It's going to be a beautiful gathering. And that's like a long, it's starting at 4 o'clock and ends at 2 a.m.
I seen that. I was like, wow.
It's going to be an event. So
I can do it.
Yes, you can. So anything else that you feel compelled to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first part of this week was work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was work. It was necessary work for sure.
Yeah.
But one thing that you will figure out about yourself is you're going to tap in to parts of yourself that you may not be comfortable tapping into, but it's necessary for your growth. So when I came in here, like I said, I had no expectations, but I had an idea of things that I kind of wanted to work on. But through Petra and Sam, they helped me explore things that I needed to work on that I didn't know so much I needed.
Yeah.
Right? So Sam was saying, this is like I'm putting a mirror in front of you, and you're being forced to look at yourself in this way.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's super powerful, because I'm a dude. I'm a personal trainer. I lift weights. I'm very, I guess it's right brain. That's like the masculine part of your, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, left brain, yeah. I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, I need to look at the other side of that reflection.
Yeah.
Right? And it was so necessary. And just those first 2 days, Monday, was it Tuesday and Wednesday? By Thursday, I was able to open up a little bit more. I could see a transformation in myself, which also I know for a fact it's going to help Jen and I out moving forward. It was necessary. It was a lot of work, but it's worth it. And at the end of the week, it's the big payoff, because we get to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, so and also I discovered that vegan food is actually not that bad.
Oh yeah,
there was
I
some
have to
good
say
food.
something about that.
Yeah, there was some
I've
good food
never
this week.
seen such gourmet vegan food, and I was so stressed out and worried before I came here. Even writing them and saying my husband has to have meat. He's such a meat eater.
Yeah.
And I was so worried, like Norm, about how he would feel.
Yeah.
And he actually liked every meal. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Maybe,
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
I was a pescatarian when I met him. I didn't eat red meat. I didn't eat,
Yeah.
It would be nice to go back a little bit.
And I'm a caveman, so
Yeah,
I like
you
my
know.
raw meat.
Yeah. It's been great because there's been a lot of people that have had that experience, and then there's been people who are like, oh, I want to bring in something or do, or I need to step out and I want to go to a restaurant on this day or whatever, and
We
so
do
there's
that,
room for all that,
Yeah.
right? We build in room for that, but so. Oh, well, this has been so great, you guys. Thank you so much.
What an amazing week.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
co-creating. Is there anything as we wind down that you feel compelled to share? Anything else?
If you're on the border of doing this or not, I highly suggest do it. Figure out a way to do it, especially if you feel like, we all have things we need to work on. At the very least, listen to the podcast, get some type of information out there that will help you moving forward.
So you're going to listen to the podcast now.
Oh, yeah.
Next time he's back, he will have had all 1,200 episodes.
Yeah. 10 times free shipping.
10 times each.
But coming from somebody, like I said, complete meathead coming into this, it's been very transformative. So if I could benefit from it, I highly suggest that you guys try it out, figure out a way to do it. And you're coming out to Venice Beach, California, man.
It's a pretty cool spot.
Any month of the year, it's amazing out here.
Yeah, it really is. It's a special place. It definitely is
It
a
is.
transformational hub. We're going to go out on an adventure after this, and I love you see businesses with sacred geometry on it. And
Yeah.
it's such a unique, eclectic place.
Yes.
And absolutely something energetically powerful is happening here. And the Mystic Manor has definitely become like a lighthouse within the community, and the reputation is spreading far and wide. A lot of people are learning about this place. But so guys, as we kind of sign off here, if you want to come, like I said, we've for March and April, you get paired up with someone in a room, but you're also, typically it's $29.50 a person for the full week. It's $13.33 in March and April. So you just share a room with someone else. So normally a shared room is $49.50. So it's crazy. We're taking a bath on it, but for me, it's I've talked to so many people who really, really wanted to come and just couldn't kind of scrape it together financially. So if it makes a difference in the end, it all comes out in the wash. And so you guys can schedule a call to talk about that. Calendly.com/ actually, I said talk with Brandon. Use for that deal, do Calendly.com/ mystic deal. Otherwise, if you want to come another month, you can do Calendly.com / talk with Brandon. One last little piece of happenings here. There's going to be a visionary art workshop. If you're an artiste and want to learn visionary art and how to paint and all that, we've been doing those sporadically. And there's going to be one of those 2/24 to 3/1 with Erica Wexler and Carly White. And they're amazing. You can look up Erica's work, and they're both amazing artists. So they're going to be here doing that as well. And so same thing. You can schedule on the Calendly to talk about that one as well.
And lastly, speaking of art, if you guys ever have an interest in psychedelic art, come here.
There's a lot.
It's worth it just to look at the art. I'm
There's a
telling you
lot.
right now.
There's some crazy stuff here. I just stare at it for hours.
It's pretty magical. Oh, well, thank you guys so much for co-creating all of this.
Thank
This
you
has
for
been
having
such
us.
an epic. I'm so looking forward. Friday's my favorite day because I get to spend it with you guys. And so let's go on about our day and go on a little adventure, shall we?
Let's do it.
Well, now that we live close, we're going to be coming here all the time.
You
Just
better.
know that.
The way I put it, every one of you guys who comes here and spends a week here, you help build this place. You help to support this place. This is your, this is a communal hub, and you're.
It totally is.
And you are a key part of it. So thank you for showing up.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
All right, everyone. Till next time. Journey well. Love you all so much.
So much.
Love each other.
And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.